Hey guys, Dave from Wolfhard Hobbying here, and today we're going to take a look at how I make snow for the bases of my minis. To serve as an example here, I've got one of my Space Wolf Blood Claws, and I've recently just put an adapter ring around his base to make it the proper size, so I'm going to need to add some more snow to cover up where the ring starts and his original base ends. So first we're going to need some PVA glue or white glue. We're going to need some craft white paint, just some cheap dollar store stuff, as you don't want to use your good paints for this project. You're going to need some snow, whether you use baking soda or flocking from a company like this here. Another alternative to baking soda that I like to use is actually rice. If you have something that can mill grains, like I have a baby bullet from my son, so I can make a nice fine powder out of rice. I like that alternative as it is cheaper because I can buy a big bag of rice, and when you mill up a cup of rice, it makes quite a bit of flocking for snow. But it does give it a kind of chunkier look than your standard flocking. You're going to need a cup, as we are going to mix all three of these ingredients, I guess, or materials. We're going to mix them all in this cup. So you're also going to need something to spread the mixture around. So I just got my sculpting tool here, as it gives me a little bit more control with the mixture. So this is fairly straightforward and simple way of making snow for your base. I'm going to put in some glue here. A lot of this, there's no measurements. It's pretty much what you want as a consistency. So I'm just going to put in as much glue as I think I need. You don't need too much glue, as it's just kind of going to give it a solid form. So you'll want more paint than you want glue, as with PVA glue it has a tendency to yellow after a while, so the white paint will keep the white color longer. So as you can see here, it's quite a bit of white paint right there. I've got about the bottom part of the cup full, and I believe I added too much paint, so I'm just going to add a little bit more glue here, not too much. So next we're going to come in with our flocking. Again, I'm using my rice. You'll get kind of a more textured snow. It's not going to look like fresh fallen snow, as that's not really the look I want to go for my Space Wolves. I want it to look like they're on a snowy battlefield, so the snow is going to be packed and moved around. So as you can see here, it's fairly chunky. You'll want to give it a good mix. You want to make sure that the glue mixes properly with the paint. You could even mix the glue and the paint first and then add your flocking, but that's all personal preference. So it's a little too chunky for what I want, but it's a pretty easy fix. All we're going to do is we're just going to come in with our white paint, and we're just going to add some more. So as you can see, it's a little too thick, and you could water it down too if you wanted to with a little bit of water, but I'm just going to add some more white paint, as I've got quite a few of these bases to do. So making a big mixture is not that big of a deal. Also, if you're using fairly cheap materials, like cost-wise, making a big batch and having to throw some of it out isn't that big of a deal either. So just going to clean the desk off a little bit here, and the next part is pretty straightforward. You're just going to take your mix, which for me, I kind of put it almost to a plaster consistency, and we're just going to place our snow all around the base. I'm making sure to put quite a bit in the where the adapter ring meets the original base, as there is a little bit of a gap there, but not too much. So just using the sculpting tool, just filling out where I want the snow to go. I'm not too worried about his feet getting covered. Again, I want it to look like they are on a battlefield and that they're trudging through pretty thick snow. So we're just going to let this guy dry for, you can leave him for about an hour, a couple hours, I would say. I leave mine overnight to dry and let that mixture really harden up. So with it all dry, you can see it with the rice, it gives a pretty good worn or battlefield type snow look, which I want, and it is fairly hard. It is a very solid surface. So even if you do the bases before, you can pin your miniatures to the bottom if you don't want them to look like they're stepping in the snow. But that's it, guys. You can get a lot of these guys done here. As I said, I've got quite a few. I need to do 15 bases, so here's just a couple examples. And the great thing about the rice too is it's very random, which I like as well. So anyways, guys, that's how I do snow bases for my miniatures. If you like the video, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel as well. If you have any tips or hints about a better way of doing this, please leave them in the comment section below. Or you can hit me up on Facebook. There will be a link to my Facebook account in the video's description below, as well as a link to my Patreon account if you guys want to show some support that way. Again, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video and have yourselves a great day.